You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hey everybody, it's Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, back once again. We're going to talk a little Star Wars tonight, one of our favorite topics. Hope you'll join us for the full episode. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Yep, nub. I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth Skywalker.
There's a Star Wars.
Sorry, I'm Seth Star Wars. Is that what she says at the end of the movie? I can't remember. Ray Star
Hey,
Wars.
according to my Facebook memories, we officially formed Ka-Pow first week of April 2016, making this moment right now our 7-year anniversary of KPP-ness.
That's pretty crazy.
Did you say
I said KPP.
That's the title of the episode.
You say KPP.
7 years. Professional. We all got microphones that work. We got 7 years under our belt. Never been better.
I know. I think the first anniversary isn't that paper. So the 7th, that could be penis. I don't know.
Could be. Could be. Every day is PP penis day. Anyway, it's a big day. It's a big day, guys.
Star Wars, nothing but
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
What's going on in London?
Oh my goodness. Star Wars celebration. The gang's all back. Gang's all gathered over there.
They do it somewhere different every year. Is that the idea?
It's been a few different places, but yeah, every 2 or 3 years they do it. It seems like over in London. Of course, you know, a lot of the movies were filmed over there, and or at least parts of them. So there's obviously a big following over there, just like here. And they've been in Orlando. They've been in, I think, California several times, and it just gets moved place to place every few years. So they're in London.
Of course, there's going to be big breaking news and new footage and things announced to this gathered crowd. So as we are recording, it is just brand new news today. 3 new films announced.
Pretty exciting.
Psyched?
Exciting. Yeah. They love to announce films.
They do. Yeah. We don't always love to make them. But
anyone can announce films.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you understand how this works.
So, yeah, it's always fun.
The big one was Daisy Ridley is reprising her role as Rey as she leads a, quote, new Jedi Order.
That was pretty surprising and pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I was the immediate shock of that. I had a positive feeling, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure that if you told me, I mean, like, I think my first instinct normally would think I would not think of that positively necessarily, because it ended so stupidly or whatever, you know. I was sick of it. I was full. I'd ate too many helpings of it.
Too many portions.
Right. So now, yeah, well done. So now, it's been long enough, I think, that
I feel like
pretend
a lot
to
of
make
people
a movie.
share my opinion that whatever was wrong with those movies was not her fault. Like,
yeah, that's
she was
Oh,
fine.
totally.
Yeah.
I think she's great.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, she was great in all 3 movies, and I never felt any type of letdown towards her, or, you know, even the Rey character was never terrible to me. I was always fine with her.
I just hate that they sullied it with the Palpatine stuff.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So
let's retcon it and do something. Like, wait, that was
exactly. I'm all about a retcon, baby.
But
So
also,
this one
you
is
know,
set
I was just gonna say, in announcing that now, when we're right in a Mandalorian season. We just had Andor. Like, everybody's pretty. I won't say everybody, but a lot of folks are pretty high on Star Wars right now too. So they're happy.
Star Wars fans are calm. Let's not agitate them. They're at peace.
Yes.
All right, so this one is set 15 years after Rise of Skywalker, where Rey will attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order as a Jedi Master. And it is directed by Oscar and Emmy-winning filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. It looks like she's done a lot of documentaries, and the only thing I really knew was 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel was her most familiar credit. So fairly new filmmaker.
Yeah, they seem to be the studio though with Disney seems to be, they've built up this collection of directors and writers and creative people at the helm that they seem to be, kind of maneuvering through different Star Wars and Marvel properties and stuff, trying to kind of keep it, more or less in the family, so we have talent there that we like, that we can use on whatever project we need.
Same, everything. Netflix does that too. Like, it's just like keep seeing the same actors in those shows. Anyway, that was pretty awesome. What else you got?
The other film from director James Mangold, who did Logan, Walk the Line, and many other quality films. He's directing a pre-Old Republic film about the first Jedi to wield the Force and the origins of the Force.
So that's pretty neat. The first Jed.
Singular.
Well, I mean, that's how they name religions. So you got Christianity, Christ. Buddhism, Buddha. Jedi, Jed.
You know what I learned today?
What?
French toast isn't named after the country of France. It's somebody's last name, like some dude at a pub who made it. It was originally French's toast with an apostrophe.
Oh.
But he was illiterate and didn't know how to write it, so he just wrote French toast. And that's how it got its name. It has nothing to do with France.
That is. What about fries? What do you know about fries?
I don't know nothing about fries.
What about French?
You didn't. You weren't inspired to look that up.
I want to know.
So I'm hoping we get. I hope something like that with this movie. Yeah, it's just Jed in the Force.
French's mustard. Is it the same guy? Did he learn?
Could have been. He could have been a raconteur.
A real Renaissance man.
So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of details about any of this, obviously. Third film announced officially. Dave Filoni directing a film taking place between The Mandalorian and The Force Awakens on that timeline. Called it a cinematic event in the Mandalorian timeline about the escalating war between the Imperial Remnant and the New Republic. Because we've even talked about that, talking about the show, that this takes place before the First Order. Like, some of the stuff that we see happening
is building towards it.
Yeah, we're gonna jump how we got from here to there in a big cinematic way.
I'm pretty surprised to see Filoni take on a movie like that. I mean, he's pretty new to live action as a whole, as far as his career goes.
He doesn't even direct an episode this season of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, he started out, just animation guy. So interesting.
I think it's a good idea. Put it on the big screen. People want to see that kind of stuff on the big screen.
Well, I'm pretty sure Jon Favreau is involved with this too. I saw them from an interview today, commenting afterwards and just about, they were kind of egging each other on about trying to, Favreau was trying to get Filoni to spill some information accidentally about it. So I'm pretty sure they're working together again.
Cool.
And again, this is just coming out today, so I haven't seen this, but apparently they showed some footage from The Acolyte that hasn't leaked as far as I know right this second. You may have already seen something. This is set during the High Republic. The bad guys are outnumbered. They're underdogs. It said it was pitched as Frozen meets Kill Bill. I don't know. I can't even fathom
Don't
what
know.
that means.
Yeah.
But I like those two words.
Do you want to kill a snowman?
And there was also a little footage from Skeleton Crew.
So wait, this is a High Republic. So that's like those comics that I bought some of. And
Yes.
This is pre Phantom Menace, post Jet.
After the Old Republic, but before the original.
I just wanted to make a post Jet joke.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Now, I did read because they had the cast on stage there, and the new Chewbacca, the guy, not of course Peter Mayhew passed away, but the guy that plays him in Solo and everything since, he is playing. He's not playing Chewbacca, but he is playing a Wookiee, and it's going to be the first live action Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kashikis.
Which is that? Acolyte?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's a series, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Disney Plus series. Skeleton Crew, also a series. Jude Law starring.
With a bunch of kids.
They call that Stand By Me meets the Goonies meets Star Wars. Again, okay.
I like the idea. I hope they can pull. That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I can't believe you even say that.
But the footage we did get, series coming this August to Disney Plus, Ahsoka.
Something's coming. Something dark. I sense it.
This is a new beginning. For some, war. For others, power.
It's been a while. Things have changed. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire. We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
We got the teaser trailer for that.
What a trailer.
This was not a trailer. I mean, this trailer is like that should be a little snack. This was a full-on meal.
A trailer. It was 2.5 minutes. That's what almost every trailer is.
But there was so much in it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They wanted to knock your socks off. I had no idea that Sabine was going to be.
Yeah, the whole crew.
Yeah, that was Hera. Like, did we know that she was cast as Hera?
Yes, that is. What is her name?
I missed that, or I forgot it.
She's married to Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, right.
So, but yes,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yes,
so we're talking about it's going to be Hera from the
Rebels.
So
I recognized all those characters. Like, oh, that's that. I haven't watched the animated shows, but I recognize them all as characters I've seen on covers of comics.
And Sabine, I don't know that actress, but she looked perfect. She, I was like, yep, that looks like her live action.
Yeah.
So pretty sweet. And we just saw. Talk about. We're going to talk about those Mando episodes later.
Yeah.
But we saw the guy. What's his name?
Zeb.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we've seen the whole crew now, but yeah, pretty awesome. I was a big Rebels fan throughout that. I really enjoyed that series, and I'm pretty excited because I mean, just in that trailer alone, I mean, we're seeing the world between worlds. I mean, we've got the whole Ghost crew there. And the big, we only see the back of his head, but I mean, hey, that's Thrawn.
Yeah.
We get an heir to the
Yeah.
Empire little mention.
They've been
there,
dying to say that.
Oh, get you excited. So, yeah.
This was fan service to the max, and I feel like
I don't
did
know
its job.
how this series happens and we don't get some sort of new Luke Skywalker cameo in an episode somewhere. We have
Probably.
to. So,
They're not gonna stop doing that till he's dead and gone.
So yeah, I'm super excited about it. I thought that trailer looked awesome. So many things to look at.
August,
decipher.
Right? They said August for that,
Yes.
and at some point this year is Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
We don't know when that is. Probably after that.
Yeah.
I would assume.
And we got the announcement, or did they announce previously that Andor was getting season 2? They did, didn't they? We got the timeline for it. So
yeah, they're
August.
filming. They're filming now through August. I think they're filming. They've got months of filming left. And then it premieres. It's next year.
Yeah,
in
2024.
August, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, that's freaking awesome. That show makes them all look bad.
I don't know that it makes them look bad, but I mean, it's certainly it's adult Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of the last headlines about how Star Wars was slowing down and we're not going to put out as much?
Right. Yeah. That's right. You're right. Well, they're going to stop. They're not going to put out a lot, but they're going to announce some stuff.
Just keep you excited.
One other little trailer they snuck in outside the Star Wars realm. We got the full trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, I had to set that one out. I felt like I've already seen enough. Anyway, I don't want to watch any more trailers.
I watched
watch
it.
the movie. I know you watched it. I want to watch the movie.
It didn't give away too much. I still am not 100% sure what timeline we're talking about and what this Destiny dials up. I did like the line where Fleabag says, "You've taken your chances, made your mistakes, and now a final triumph." I'm like, that's a little on the nose for you're not talking about Indiana Jones himself. You're talking about the franchise here. You made some mistakes, but now a final triumph. So a little meta there in the trailer.
Yeah. Good line by Sala too. So always cool to see him. So yeah, I thought it was cool.
It's a good first day. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll announce more that
there's a full weekend to come. I'm sure there's other news that we won't get into at this juncture.
That's what I was thinking today. I was like, after all this came out, I was like, God, what are they going to do tomorrow? What could they possibly throw at me tomorrow? So I'm excited.
I don't know. All right. Hey, there was some very relevant news to us. Pipe in that theme music.
Perlmutter.
What's the deal with the old Ike?
Oh, real life super villain Ike Perlmutter has officially been let go by Bob Iger and the Disney company. He is gone. They sent him packing. I never thought I'd see the day until he croaked. Yeah, so it's the interesting
long time topic of our fascination.
Oh yeah, we have a plethora of history with Perlmutter and his news stories going back to our earliest days.
It's a good story to do.
Is that our first song?
To do on our anniversary, to talk about Perlmutter. Let's bring it all full circle on the 7th anniversary.
I like it. So, yeah, I don't know what episode it was way back in the day, but at some point there was a night when we were first started podcasting, and what happened? Somebody wasn't gonna. Maybe Seth was bringing all the news stories. Was that the deal?
Probably.
Back then, and you weren't going to be able to make it to a recording one night. So at like the very last minute, Jordan half reads a story about Ike Perlmutter and this
lawsuit.
Yes,
Lawsuit.
yes. And he got it about a quarter right from the official story, but his version was better than anything you'd ever heard. And we turned it into basically an entire episode about Ike, and we just ran with it from there. It was one of the best things we ever did was coming across that news story about his tennis disputes and lawsuits and everything. So to continue that on, so Isaac Perlmutter, who I thought was, didn't really have much of a say-so anymore with the company, but in these layoffs, Disney announced a while ago they were going to do thousands of layoffs and to cut cost or whatever the reasoning was, but they were not going to be.
I saw the reported aim being the elimination of 7,000 jobs, or 4% of their global workforce was the goal.
But most of them were not set to be like frontline cast members. So they weren't going to be you or I that, is making $20 an hour or 20, whatever. They're, the low level guys working a popcorn stand in a theme park somewhere. These were going to be more mid-level executives is what we were told. So it was a little surprising when the story hit that Ike and some of his team were the first ones to be thrown out the door, which I was very excited because I knew we'd talk about it a little bit. The surprising thing to me was a little bit of feedback that from just reading online, people kind of defending him. And I was just like, do you know who this man is? This is the Lex Luthor of our time right here.
Well, there's this weird thing that he saved Marvel in the 90s from bankruptcy. Like, he came in and kept it from being liquidated. So, like, I'm sure there's some feeling of, woo, the savior of Marvel. And then that's all they know him from, perhaps.
Yes. He's also the reason why we don't have, Captain America in Disney World. He sold, in doing that, he sold off movie rights. He sold off theme park rights. He sold everything he could possibly sell to other companies to try and, influx some cash, I guess. But that was a long time ago. So basically now he's just this little old dude that tends to cause trouble wherever he goes because he's grouchy and a tightwad and you name it. He's fought with Kevin Feige now for several years over Marvel Studio decisions and movies and storylines and things like that. So
he just seemed to pick the wrong fights. Like, he went after Kevin Feige, the most powerful, profitable executive they have, and then was like cut away from the whole movie. Like, they cut the movie off into its own sector, and like, Ike, he's still CEO of, but just you worry about comic books and all this other stuff. We'll take the movies. And then he did this whole thing with the board member trying to get a seat on the board with some other dude.
So that
failed. So he's had a couple of these power plays that did not go his way. So
right. So that was part of the battle with when Bob Chapek was still around. Is Ike had a basically a proxy, some other old guy that he's buddies with. He kept trying to force onto the board of directors with Disney, and they fought and finally were able to, just straight up say, we're done with this. This guy, he's never going to be a board member. Quit pushing it. We're not giving you power back, and we're moving on. And they rushed Iger back into office as the CEO and all that. So that's where we're kind of at now.
But it worried comic fans because they took the whole Marvel Entertainment section of the company and declared it redundant. And it's going to be folded into the larger Disney universe. So they thought, does that mean they're getting rid of comics? But that's what Ike was the head of. So there was some speculation the only way to even get around his contract, just get rid of the whole thing. So basically, it was just throwing out the baby with the bathwater or whatever. Like, we just got to get rid of everything. And so there's hope that, like, okay, now Dan Buckley and the comic people are going to direct more. They're going to report more directly to Kevin Feige, and that's like the creative side of things rather than the bean counter side of
right.
things. So the hope is this isn't a bad thing for the publishing side, that it's actually a good thing, but we don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But, since Bob Iger has come back, we have seen some smaller moves back towards, guest experience, focusing more on creative decisions rather than money decisions and just profit. I mean, they're always going to focus on profit, but, not so in your face. We're just going to charge you more and take away everything. And you will pay us, everything to get those triple and quadruple profits, whatever their goals are. Who knows? But so it's a good thing. And
I actually did a interview with the Wall Street Journal, which this man is famously reclusive, like was never photographed for decades. Certainly never interviewed. But after he got laid off, he had a few things to say. So he's basically admitting how frugal he is, and the headline I saw was like, Ike doesn't care how much money they make, he cares how much money they spend. He was so worried about what stuff cost that even these movies that made $1 billion, he didn't think they should be spending so much on. So, quote, I have no doubt that my termination was based on fundamental differences in business between my thinking and Disney leadership, because I care about return on investment. All they talk about is box office. I care about the bottom line. I don't care how big the box office is. Only people in Hollywood talk about the box office. So yeah, he says, who cares if you made $1 billion if the movie cost, $500 million? He wants to have cheaper product, even if you make less money. So he was always worried about the bottom line, not about the potential of profit.
Right.
I mean, he can say that, but he's also the guy that tried to privatize the Veterans Office, of our government to make money. So, sure, Ike.
He also said, I learned one thing about creative people my whole life. You cannot give them an open credit card. They're doing this for 30 years. Why would they change? And then later, there was no way to force the issue because the creative people at Walt Disney Company are very powerful. So that's reading between the lines. It was like people like Kevin Feige, like these people, they don't know they don't know how to turn a dollar. They just know how to tell their fanciful stories. So he did not care about their creativity or the magic of Disney. He cared about the wallet, which that's an executive's job, I guess, if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Good riddance.
But
So we need a new one. We need a new villain.
I think you already found it.
What was the deal with? What was the DeSantis thing?
God, it's all happening in Florida, isn't it? So yeah, we've mentioned this also in past episodes as kind of it's been happening, but how you guys kind of asked me a little bit, and we haven't gotten into it yet, but what exactly is happening with why does DeSantis, what's his problem with the Disney company? What is Reedy Creek? All of that stuff, right? So do you guys know anything about the Reedy Creek Improvement District?
That's Disney's like fiefdom. They run it. They have their own fire department and their own
It's their
they govern
infrastructure.
themselves.
Yes. So this was created, basic in the times of Walt before they built any theme parks in Florida. This was part of the agreement because back then Florida just wasn't, it wasn't the big tourism place it is now. The mouse brought all of that. And one way they did that was infrastructure because they controlled their property and the upkeep and the development, roads, bridges, just like you said, civil service, fire departments. emergency people. So they have done this since the 1960s, and they have always paid for it. A private business paying for all of that stuff on their property. It was not paid by the taxpayer. And after this whole Don't Say Gay bill and the whole Chapek thing and Disney making eventually a statement about it, DeSantis just could not stand it and was appalled that the mouse would, not be in line with him, his values or whatever. Or, who knows if those are even his values. It's just could just be political theater or whatever. But in that, since then, he basically enabled the state to not dissolve, but completely take over Reedy Creek. They renamed it the Florida Tourism Board of, I don't know, whatever. They basically took it over, and when they did that, he appointed his own board members to it. So it became a thing where the Disney company was basically appointing board members, and they were in charge of Reedy Creek. DeSantis has thrown those board members out the door and instituted his own people to, basically be against the Disney company and to make their life hard is what he was trying to do. But before that happened, there were, they hold public meetings. The Reedy Creek board did, and they made a few changes before DeSantis got his hands in there, and they basically kind of nullified the complete power of the new board. So they basically the old board passed a bunch of things saying that like Disney would be basically in control of all of their property for the next 30 years. They could develop whatever they wanted to.
Welcome back. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis learned an important lesson this week. Don't mess with the mouse. The Walt Disney Corporation has come out on top, at least for now, in the ongoing power struggle between the company and DeSantis to control the previously independent area that houses Disney's parks in the state of Florida. A new document, first reported by the Orlando Sentinel, reveals that just weeks before the board DeSantis established to take control of the area came into power, Disney moved to limit that new board's control, unbeknownst to the governor and the board itself. And they did it, at the time, under perfectly legal ways to do it. The company also invoked a rare legal clause that makes the move valid in perpetuity or until 21 years after the death of the last living descendants of King Charles. For real. Yes, the king over there. The board said that they will challenge the document. The fight between Disney and DeSantis started over Disney's political activities, namely their support of the LGBTQ community, as DeSantis continues his push to curtail LGBTQ visibility.
They also included, let's face it, Disney has a lot better lawyers. They also included some wording in there about, power structure and who would be in control for how long. And contracts are weird. Justin Lowe would be I'm sure a really good person to explain all of this. Silver level patron Justin Lowe. But he could tell you and explain to you, but they included some interesting wording in there about how nothing will really change power wise or control over the district until 21 years after the last living descendant of King Charles III dies, which was kind of funny. So
what it sounds like is that it was kind of just a knee-jerk thing that he thought he could get away with, and like he didn't realize who he was messing with.
Well, he thought he could just bully him into it. Yeah. And then it's really stupid. I mean, how could you not think Disney was going to try and do something? And they didn't bother, DeSantis didn't bother to send anybody into the last few, or probably any of the public meetings when they passed all this. So when it was turned over to this new board, they were just like, what happened? How could you do this? to Disney, and Disney just kind of laughed, and Bob Iger, made a few choice remarks about them trying to bully the company into submission, which is really so dumb. But
then hosted like the gayest event you could possibly have. Had some international bring all your gays to Florida event.
That's officially what it's called. No. So after that, everybody kind of got a laugh about it. And then Disney announced they were going to have the biggest worldwide summit of LGBTQ.
Summon the gays.
in the entire world. This is going to be the biggest event. Just to rub Ron's nose in a little harder. And then after that, it's really just become a pissing match. After that, I think Bob Iger made some comments the other day, and now DeSantis is saying basically,
we're not just going to avoid the development agreement they tried to do. We're going to look at things like taxes on the hotels. We're going to look at things like tolls on the roads. We're going to look at things like developing some of the property that the district owns.
We'll just punish your customers. We'll punish the guests. We're going to get all these tourism taxes and push it all onto your visitors, which, way to get a vote. Let's make Disney World cost more, courtesy of the state of Florida. So yeah, it's all just, it's silly. And it was unnecessary, because it really ticked me off at first, because Reedy Creek is, you would think a big conservative politician would love a big giant corporation, using their private money to take care of infrastructure and where the public is going to be. Makes all the sense in the world, you would think, to them, and they just totally tried to destroy it. So yeah, now we got to get a new song. Ike's packing it in, and now we need something for old DeSantis down there in Florida. So at least for now, we'll see if he sticks in Florida or not.
Dude, DeSantis went down to Florida. He was looking for something to steal.
Looking for a creek to steal. It's all crazy.
Well,
go ahead.
Let's get to some of that Disney Star Wars stuff we've been watching. That the Bad Batch season 2 ended.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you weren't liking a lot of these episodes. What did you think of the last, several?
I like the last couple there were good. I'm thinking
one more season, right? That's got to be the logical thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine any more than that.
They got Omega, they lost Omega. Now we have to get Omega back, right? That's got to be it. So
yeah. I mean, I was interested the way they left it, where they're going to go with it. For the Kaminoans or whatever they're called, and Kaminoans, I don't know, but they that guy. Well, what's that guy's name? That new bad guy, General. He's like a what's
Doctor? Is it?
Yeah, Doctor. He's a Doctor. Dr. Hemlock.
Yes,
Wasn't
Hemlock.
that it? Something like that. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, it was something silly.
Yeah.
No,
and then we had a death. We had a death. So
right, a pretty big one.
And that was, pretty cool line. He whips out a cool line before he dies. Somebody said, "You don't believe that, do you? You don't think?" A guy at work was like, "You don't really think that he died?" Yeah. I was like, "Yes, I think he died."
Yeah,
I was like, these are clones, like in a time period when the clones need to be dying.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So I feel like they need to kill somebody off eventually.
Well, I totally agree. As silly as this show can be, and as kiddie as it can be at times, some of the it's got some pretty serious tones to it.
Yes.
overall.
So why is Wanda Sykes a character?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't.
The children love.
I don't
Wanda
hate
Sykes.
Wanda Sykes or anything, but her voice is so distinctive.
Yeah.
And
I kind of feel
she
the
sounds.
same.
I mean, she is not young.
No.
And she's playing a young character, and it does not sound right to me at all. And I'm just like, it just is it annoys me.
Yeah. I actually felt before she was, a more prominent character this year. I kind of felt the same way about Rhea Perlman. Not that Rhea Perlman didn't match.
Yeah, it feels too gimmicky.
It does
to have these voices.
Yeah,
like it's like I would just put a good voice actor in there. You don't have to have them in there.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff with them I don't even like. Like that's the quest of the week stuff, and
yeah.
I just don't care about all that. I want the serialized stuff. I want to know what overall arcing story.
Yeah, and that's always the more interesting thing to me too. There was a lot of speculation about that island location, that whatever its name. It starts with a P. They were calling it in the last few episodes, where they kind of find it gives you the impression that they may end up staying here. They may have a home after all. They've found somewhere, and there's a lot of speculation that island may be on Scarif itself before the Empire comes in and takes
Hey,
over.
why not?
So I thought that was
their
cool.
uniforms are getting more and more looking like those Scarif up stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's true. And so that was a kind of a cool little thing. I don't know. I mean, I want them to have a happy ending, but I kind of feel like maybe they shouldn't have a happy ending.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, maybe let somebody survive somehow. I don't know where they're going with Omega.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I'm in for another season. I still like it. It's still good. It's great. It looks great.
I had seen somebody commenting about the tech character, and after it was pointed out to me, I couldn't not see it, but that character does seem to be a little, maybe trying to be representative of being on the spectrum a little bit, just how he talks and his behavior.
That,
and I thought, well, that's kind of a cool thing to do, to wrap into this show and make it a little bit more interesting. So I enjoyed it. I'm ready for another season. I can do one more and be okay with it.
Yeah. All right. Now all that leaves is some more Mando. Got a couple episodes to talk about.
Mando. We got 2 episodes we have not spoken about. Episodes 5 and 6. Some interesting stuff. I'm shocked our group chat did not light up on Wednesday at what was going on. We'll get there. Chapter 21, The Pirate. We return to Navarro, and the pirates were making their move for revenge. Pirate King Gorian Shard, the Swamp Thing looking guy, brings his ship back and starts firing on civilians.
That's old Salad the Hutt and Mr. Smee.
You know what? I've been thinking ever since I saw that guy, and then I kept forgetting to say it till this week when I was seeing advertisements for this stuff. He's freaking, he's made of Easter grass.
That's true. That's very appropriate. I was wondering what happened to all that stuff when I threw it away.
If a peep popped out of his ear, it wouldn't surprise me.
Cadbury egg. Jackson's gonna lay a Cadbury egg. So the leader of Navarro is our pal Grief Karga, and he tries to get a message to the New Republic because he needs help on this planet. Who does he get in contact with but Captain Teva, who's the X-Wing pilot.
Mr. Kim.
We've only seen him. Yeah, Mr. Kim. We've only seen him basically as a traffic cop out in the galaxy.
I love this guy. I literally love this guy.
Yeah.
He's got a great look.
Oh, he is one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
Yeah, I mean, he's not some great hero of the Republic. Like
He's
it's,
a
again,
beat cop.
we're deeper into the bureaucracy here, like we've been these last few episodes of like he's got to run it up the chain, talk to his boss, and see what he can do. So he goes and talks to Tim Meadows, who is some mid-level executive. And hey, the planet hasn't signed the charter, so we can't help them, right? So they're on their own. But who was just so happening to listen into this conversation? Elia Kane, the former Imperial who was hanging out with Moff Gideon. She just happened to be in the same room. And
I hate this character. I hate this. I hate her. She's one of my least favorite Star Wars characters.
I don't even remember what she was trying to do, but she's obviously up to something.
Yeah. Yes. I don't remember either. But but I didn't like her effing with the guy I liked. You know,
Right.
she was screwing. She didn't want them to go help him. You know, because they weren't part of the alliance.
Right.
You know, wasn't that it? Like, you got to be part of the alliance, and she got the ladies' man to listen to her.
A lady. So back on Navarro, Grief evacuates the entire city of about 25 people out into the desert. Like, this was such a small amount of people he's leading around out there.
Yes. We didn't have production dollars for very
Yeah,
many
that was
CGI aliens.
So we get Teva is able to locate Mando Beach thanks to Rebel hero R5D4. They're still in contact, so he was able to tell him where the Mandalorians are.
Now, this
What
made
a
no
twist.
sense to me. How would he know to be looking for that droid?
He
Because
sent out a signal or whatever.
the droid did.
Yes.
This is not an important plot point.
I feel like it should be.
This is not the droid.
Because
we're
as
talking about.
he's like, "Oh, I found you. There you are." And I'm like, "How would you know to look for that particular droid?"
Well,
R5D4
he
is
said,
the
like,
first droid I looked at.
R5D4 supposedly sent out a signal purposely to draw him there. And I'm sure it was coded with his. All it has to have R5D4 on it. He knows who it is.
A bad motivator.
So they have kind of a roundtable debate about whether or not to help Grief, because they've been offered a tract of land on Navarro. If they will help, he will give them somewhere to live.
That's right.
And they debate whether we should, quote, take up arms for a brighter future. And we think old Paz Vizsla is gonna, because they're not into it to begin with.
He's always
He's like-
grumpy.
Yeah,
I
so
feel
old
like he's grumpy.
Yeah, but he swerved at the last second and kind of talked him into it. It's like, yeah, this is what we do. We're gonna.
He's warming up
fight
the
for
old,
the future.
old den.
So yeah, the pirates have the run of the place. They get their drink at that school. They're hanging out and causing all kind of chaos. We get a Mando sneak attack and some good action scenes. We got the Din and Bo in the ships above, and then we got a ground force below, including the armorer who beats a sniper to death with her hammer.
I thought it was pretty, even though I'd seen that in the trailer a bunch of times, that was a pretty cool shot of all the Mandos dropping down onto the city and everything from the ship. And it's like, that's pretty cool. They're still pretty badass. Good for them.
So they take down the whole pirate ship. He leads the smaller fighters away to let Bo-Katan go at the main ship. They down the whole shebang, but the original guy who was the bully at the school gets away. He's like, "I'll get you next time, Mando," and he flies away. So we're not completely down with these pirates yet, I'm sure. So Grief is happy. He grants them all the land from the western lava flats to Bullock Canyon.
That's pretty cool.
That's a little nod to, of course, Jeremy Bullock, the actor who played the original
Boba Fett.
Mandalorian Boba Fett. You may not have a home planet, but you now have a home. So Victory, they're gonna leave Monster Beach, and they're gonna bring their bird monster. They're gonna bring their bird monsters, I'm sure, but we'll leave the turtles and other things.
Those
behind.
damn things are gonna eat so many townspeople.
There's only 25 of them. They'll be hungry later.
Yeah.
So Bo-Katan has a little sidebar with the armorer, who asks her to remove her helmet. What is
This was
going
so
on?
ridiculous.
What is
Like
going
this
on?
show, this is what I'm talking about. I was like, give me a friggin' break. You're the hard ass that said we can't do that. And everybody's like traveling to different planets and trying to walk in the water. And now you walked in the water and you didn't even mean to, and you had your helmet on. You haven't taken it off set. All right, you get to be in the club. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, take your helmet off. It's like, you just make all this shit up as you go along.
I think we've figured that out. But she says, not enough. It's not enough for a few to walk the way. All must walk together. The next age is upon us. And she tells Bo, you have walked both worlds. You're the only one who can unite us. So that's her logic, that she's finally maybe started to bend a little bit, that to get her way, she can't be as strict as they have been.
I still feel like these two know each other. I mean, from like back in the day, you know.
I didn't get that at all, but
I think
who knows? It's just like, okay, yeah. She's so then she walks out there and they're all like, what the fuck? She doesn't have her helmet on. Why am I sweating my freaking balls off here? And she just gets to walk out here. Explain that. Explain it to me, armorer.
She doesn't have to. She just says, this is the way. And they all say,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is the way.
This is another way.
She says it's time to retake Mandalore. So Bo's going to go seek others in exile and try to bring all the tribes together, because we all got to be united. We can't be different systems, different belief systems. And
it's a good plan.
We're paying Katie Sackhoff too much money to hide under that helmet.
So that's the end of that story, but we got a little tag at the end as Teva is back in his X-Wing. He comes upon a derelict Imperial shuttle.
Yeah.
Better days, and all these details are classified. He can't figure out what this is or where it was going. So this is where he calls up an old buddy from Star Wars Rebels, Zeb.
Old Zeb.
Yes, Zeb.
It's one of the main crew on Rebels. Yeah. What kind of creature is he, Cliff? Yep, he's an orc.
No,
I don't know. I don't know, but you don't either.
I was sitting here trying to think,
baby.
what Zebarilius? What species is he? They took the concept art for the original Chewbacca, and they made this species from that.
That's right.
But I can't remember what the name of them were. But yeah, and it was a pretty cool shot at that bar too. To see, did you notice Filoni and the other two directors sitting at the bar drinking that had played the X-Wing pilots?
I assume that was somebody, but I didn't recognize.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So we learned that this was Moff Gideon's prison transport.
Lasat. He's Lasat.
There you go.
And not only is everybody dead, Gideon is gone. There's a fragment of Beskar left behind. So were these Mandalorians who did it?
I thought it was palladium.
Are we framing? Was it Percival Pickens who did it? We don't know his master plan.
I just want all these shit just tied together.
So
we'll get there someday. We've got more than our wildest dreams now.
Oh my gosh.
It can only get better.
What a time to be alive. No, when as there are rebel troopers floating in that ship because it's been blasted open. Two thoughts. Going back to Clone Wars, my thought was remember the the Mandalorian super commandos that went to fight for the Empire? I thought, oh, that would be cool. Number two, I thought, oh, is one of those floating hands, is that Cara Dune? Did they just blast her away?
That'd be nice. They should have said that. Should have had her like holding that medal she got.
just her head floating in
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Tumbling through. Just her head and Luke's hand out there.
So that's the end of that one. And episode 6. I looked at Reddit that Wednesday afternoon before I had seen the episode, and the Star Wars discussion was like way at the top of the Reddit homepage.
I bet.
So I thought, this must be a
somebody
really
play the wrong flute.
this must have been a really good episode or something controversial.
Oh shoot!
I had a clue what I was in for. And actually, a friend of the show, Russ, was in that day too. He's like, "Have you seen that yet?" I said, "Nope." Yes, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, he didn't spoil it for me, thankfully. But
yeah,
I wonder what Russ thought about it.
He knew what we were in for.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 22, Guns for Hire, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. Blame her.
I always like her episodes.
Yeah.
I love this episode.
Oh,
I did too.
I'm gonna say at the top, I love
we all unanimously love this episode.
Yes, absolutely. And I had not mentioned it to you guys because I didn't know how you were going to react, but I thought it was so fun.
All right, so this one kicks off. We're on a starship with the Quarrens, who are these starfish-headed aliens. The captain sits in a water bowl.
Yeah.
In the cockpit.
So they come from the same planet as the Mon Calamari, and they're always
You see the
fighting.
ship, and I'm like, is that a calamari ship? Oh well, same deal. Same. These guys live in the same place. You know. That was pretty trick. I like that. The water going down into the floor and stuff.
I like when they put the little fish in it, and she ate
Yeah. 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 If they'd have like shook, I wish they would have like shook.
Oh man. If it would have just been a box of goldfish crackers and dumped in there.
So that was Captain Shugath, which is a Lovecraft reference with the tentacles on her face. Well done. Okay, so Bo-Katan's old crew shows up with an Imperial ship. This is Axe Woves.
Yes.
This is a character we know.
Yes. He was in the previous couple episodes when we first were reintroduced to Bo-Katan, and he was there.
Axe Woves. That's hard to. That doesn't roll off the tongue.
Nope.
No.
All right, so we find out that his little crew was hired by the Mon Calamari to recover one of their princess or something. The runaway. They were in love. These two star-crossed lovers. Calamari, oh Calamari, wherefore art thou, Calamari? And so this is just a job to them. You know, it's not any. They don't have any politics at stake.
They're
it says
privateers.
Yeah, Mandos are honorable. All it takes
mercenaries.
is a few credits. So they're out there doing their thing. I don't remember why were they going to this planet? Jit-Din and Bo-Katan? I've forgotten why they were going.
Gosh,
there was a reason.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a reason.
Well, they were going to because she's trying to recruit the Mandalorians.
Oh, so yes, they were stationed there.
Yeah,
that's such an obvious reason.
Yeah, her fleet, they're all there. So
okay,
Obviously,
so first trip is to reconnect with her old crew on the Outer Rim planet of Pleasure 15, best known for democracy and Epcot globes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is if you defeat the Empire, you're gonna have some planets that just go full tilt. Extreme democracy. And you know, I was just like, let's just see what happens here. Looks like a weird place. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like a paradise, but they get off the ship, and our first people they meet are Imperial droids, these black, evil-looking droids. So, Den don't like that. He doesn't like the droids.
Oh no, he hates the droids.
So it looks like something might be rotten on this paradise planet. They get on this fancy Hyperloop train to
Monorail.
go meet the wizard. So they're going to meet the leader of this democratically elected king and queen. They reveal the Duchess and Captain Bombardier.
Which is stupid. It's like spelt bombardier or whatever it is, but if you have to, but that's how he would pronounce it.
But Dr. Pershing just took a DNA test. Turns out it's 100% Lizzo and Jack Black as these characters.
Which
was off-putting, and then it was delightful.
Yeah, I love Jack Black. Like, he just seems like one of the greatest people. Yeah. And so nobody makes faces better than Jack Black. He's half beard, half man now. And and she's a fan. She's a big, she's posted all kinds of stuff, Grogu and all this, she's like a fan of Star Wars, so go for it.
I love it.
So in this world, the Duchess was the rightful ruler of Placer 15, and Bombardier was an Imperial sent to conquer the world. But they fell in love. These are recurring themes. This getting a second chance.
Yeah,
he went through the amnesty program also.
Yeah, rehabilitated. Mm-hmm. He's got a planet now. Like some of these guys got they got another chance here. How would they run their planet?
Is this best case scenario? Like, this is what we could hope for,
right? After
the Empire fit, right? So immediately she wants to hold baby. Who can blame her?
Yeah,
and I had that same thought. I said, first Madison's flute, now the world's most beloved Muppet. What more will Lizzo try to hold?
Oh, exactly. Just like, okay, great. Now our heroes can go do shit without carrying that big accessory around. Because that's all Baby Yoda is now. It's just a thing that you carry around, and that's slightly annoying, but okay.
Yeah. Did you guys know that that we're going to a Lizzo concert next month?
No.
I did not. I hopefully you don't mean we, like all of us.
No, not we as in present here.
Good.
Taking my daughter to a Lizzo concert next month.
Well, there you go.
She better have that damn Grogu, or I'm gonna be pissed off. Or at least Jack Black.
Right. Well, if he came in and did a number one.
Oh, man. It'd be all worth
it. All right, so we learn there's something going on. He takes him aside. It's like, it's not all perfect. There's these droid malfunctions that are happening. And he kind of explains everything that's going on, how their economy works and all this stuff. And will you please help us? And he replies, you had me at battle droids.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's going to go make a mess.
He's like, super battle droids killed his family. So he's like, oh yeah, hold my baby.
Yes, he will happily go take them out. First person they meet with, the person who seems to be running the whole droid.
This is kind of like, this was another thing where I was like, okay, well, that's the bad guy. Like, it's pretty obvious when you cast someone like Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. So Christopher Lloyd as Commissioner Hellgate.
Yes. Great Republican name. Great Republican name. I didn't like how it went with the end of the Empire, but
So he shows them some footage that I thought looked like the galaxy's funniest home droid videos of these droids malfunctioning. It's like, these are just some isolated incidents. And there's the droids like chopping up vegetables and flipping out. One's like humping a trash can. I don't know what's going on with these droids.
Yeah. He's a separatist.
Yes.
Yeah. Dooku was right.
Yeah, we didn't learn that yet. But we learned
we're getting the vibe. We're getting the vibe.
We learned nobody wants to work anymore. That's just.
I got this button here.
So,
It looks
Fix
like
everything.
It looks like the whammy button.
Yeah, it's
from
like the whatever.
the game show.
Yeah, it's like what?
No
the
whammy,
hell?
no whammy, no.
so he could easily shut down all the robots and solve the problem, but the people voted not to. They like having the robots, even if a couple of them go crazy every once in a while. So
Right.
nobody wants to work anymore. Everybody just wants.
Which
to
this
live
is
in a
the
robot
this is the
utopia.
dream, right? This is
Yeah.
utopia. This is
Yes.
utopia. We get if this is like, I mean, this is what I liked about this episode is they take you down this road and like, what about this? What about this? You know, and you're just like, okay, well, what if hypothetically we got this? There's all this AI stuff going on. What if we actually pull it off and have them doing all the work for us? What if they take our jobs? What would be a good version of that?
Exactly.
All we have to do is relax and do art,
Yes.
and you know, as long
That's
as
all
they're
we
working,
want to do. We
Yeah.
just- yeah. Do what
And
you want to do.
So that sounds pretty sweet.
Hell
honestly.
yeah.
I would chance getting murdered by a chopping robot.
Exactly. I just would not go to the hibachi.
I wouldn't kick it in the shins.
I sure would not kick it in the sheds for no. That was so mean.
So they leave Christopher Lloyd and go speak to the Ugnaughts who are down below. Who are
Oh my
if you
god.
want to learn
Oh.
about droids, you got to talk to an Ugnaught.
Yeah, right. They're just big Babu fricks.
They're kind of, I don't know. Babu Freaks, he's a cute little guy. These guys are kind of, they're grumpy too.
Well, what's their job? What do they do?
They're
I don't
down there welding and putting
Yeah,
together,
working on stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
yeah,
They're the blue collar
yeah.
guys.
I wish they would, like the ones on Cloud City, they didn't talk. They just snorted and grunted and made pig noises.
Yeah.
I kind of
Shut
wish
up
these guys
and work.
would make a little pig noise too.
It'd be nice. They're literally pigs in space.
Yes.
We need some grunt around there.
So yeah, they send them out to. This is the next droid that will most likely act up, and there's a line of them hauling boxes, and Den just decides to start kicking them to see what
What a
see
jerk.
what happens.
What a
Which is
jerk.
straight out of that, those robotics videos of like the the drones and stuff that I've seen those the little like dog looking
Yeah.
things.
Mhm.
You
I
kick
was
them
like-
to see if
I
they'll
was-
watching.
Yeah, I was like feeling the iRobot vibe, and then he straight up Chris rocks him. He just the droid just does a Will Smith smack. And I was like, this is iRobot.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I was like, this is so iRobot.
Oh, and
So yeah, they
this was great. When that sucker took off running, I was like, this is cool. I like that. Like, that was neat. They had chasing.
Yeah, this was all like a cop show. This is a buddy
Yeah,
cop show. So
yeah,
this was the foot chase. The perp's running.
Yeah,
We got to take
yeah.
him out.
Right.
So they end up getting to the robot has a thing on him from this droid bar called the Resistor. So they
Which is a perfect name. Perfect double meaning. I loved that. I was like, yes, the Resistor. That is so freaking cool.
So they pop in to get some answers, and I heard very clearly in my head, these we don't serve your kind here, but they weren't like that. They were nice
No.
robots. Again, like the theme of these episodes, they're looking for a second chance. They don't want to be replaced and torn down.
Yeah.
We would
They
love
want to help
to
people.
serve you
Yeah.
and get a second chance to live. You can do your art and do that. We just want to have a purpose and, hang out at this bar at night. And I was like, yeah, this is my dream. I've been talking nice to Alexa, and I'm, I want to be on the side of this.
And they said all the organics will die soon anyway, so we can help them for a while. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
They're not too worried about it.
We'll be
Right.
here long after they're gone.
Right.
Yeah. So you can quit kicking us.
So we find out that all the malfunctioning robots have the same drink called Nepenthe. which is a reference.
Hit a Shakespeare.
This is Homer. Homer's Odyssey.
I know.
It is a drug of forgetfulness, that which chases away sorrow.
Yeah,
That
it makes you
comes-
forget your griefs and sorrows.
So it had nanobots in it that did something.
It supposedly like updates your technology. It's like getting an update. They can just put it in your oil or whatever this is.
It goes down smooth.
You know, I mean, is this like when did this happen when C-3PO got his oil bath and stuff? Did he get updated?
I remember things went wrong about that time too.
Yeah.
So Medroid goes nuts and then has to Darksaber it in half.
Yeah.
I think just to remind us all he had it.
Yeah.
I kept waiting on him to pull it out. I was like, what are you waiting on? Start hacking droids.
And then it all comes back to Christopher Lloyd, of course. I felt a real Judge Doom vibe going on here. He's going to dip all these robots. All these robots are going to dip. He's a separatist supporter of the visionary Count Dooku. He's still stuck in those times. And they zap him. They don't want to hear his reason. They don't need a manifesto.
Yeah.
They said politics. We don't need any of that. So they solve the case. Detective Den solved the case. They get the key to the city. She knights Grogu. He is now a knight of the realm.
That was stupid.
We call it a day.
I was just like, that thing didn't do anything.
No.
He didn't go on the they did it. They saved the day. They went off, did all that, right around, kicked the thing, chased it, chopped things in half, figured it all out, saved the day, caught the bad guy. I knight the Muppet. I was like, gosh, come on.
Grogu ate lunch and got an award for it.
I know.
Played a game.
Helped cheat her in the ball game.
Crazy.
You know what if they should have like I mean, he's just cute to look at, but whatever. They should have like, they put a camera on like an eagle's nest or something. They should just have like a 24-hour live feed of Baby Yoda eating things.
During each episode, he's just up in the corner and you're seeing what he's doing as the episode's happening. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just looking around, chasing frogs.
Yeah.
It's like the Puppy Bowl. I don't want to watch the Super Bowl. I could watch Din Djarin being cool, or I could watch the Puppy Bowl, the Grogu Bowl. All right, so with that out of the way, they let them go talk to the other Mandalorians. They don't seem happy to see Bo-Katan.
I freaking hated this. I mean, I liked this episode. I thought it was fun, all that stuff. But this is what we assumed when we talked about this, when she killed that. This was in the opening anyway. Before the episode, they showed this to remind everybody that this was what was going to happen, and it was about this fight where she picked up the Darksaber and everything. It's like what can we pick the most anticlimactic way to solve this? This is a visual show here, and they're just like doing paperwork here. Ugh.
Yeah, so they're not going to listen to her because Axe is in charge now. So Bo has to challenge him. So they have to have a fight. And immediately, the minute they start fighting, I'm like, whip out the flamethrowers. I knew it was going to come down to flamethrowers.
Yeah, it was a terrible fight.
But it starts out with like jetpacks and knives and flipping around, and it was all right.
They have run out of things to do with the Mandalorian fights, and I feel like somebody could think of something better.
Yeah, we need to hire a new stunt coordinator there.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. And why did they not just write this in a way that those two had to fight? That's all. That would have been way better.
So Bo-Katan defeats Axe, but they're like, well, you're not even the boss because he's got Darksaber. So like they weren't going to listen to her anyway.
Yeah.
So he has to say, oh yeah, that thing that happened a while back. You get the sword anyway. So like, I don't know why they waited this long to do it, but for what, You defeated the guy who defeated me, so therefore you defeated me.
Yeah.
Here you go. Take your prize. And they say
They're
the
all
blade
cool
has
with that.
returned to its rightful owner, and we get a shot, a very epic
Hero
shot of her
Hero
bending the blade. But yeah, it wasn't exciting, or it wasn't like because we had talked
not
like
at all.
didn't she earn the Darksaber at that point? Like I know people have debated that
the moment
3
had
episodes
passed,
ago.
yes.
Yeah. So now it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot. Here's your sword.
Yeah. But at least it's over. And again, it's great when the thing we know they're going to do eventually, they did it. And now we can get something else to happen that we don't know.
Yeah. So they've basically more or less redeemed Bo-Katan, her character.
Yeah.
So how much?
She's just so I get this and I can get my helmet off and still be in your dumb religion. Okay.
How much?
Thanks, I guess.
How much longer do you think she lives?
I don't know.
I'm guessing probably not too much longer. Like I was really hoping they would make her, and I mean they have made her, back to her hero, but I really would have. Well, and it may still happen, but I would like to see her, have a little bit more redemption and carry on her mission.
Well, she's still gonna go gather all these Boba Fett's together. We gotta get all the Boba Fett's together.
All the Axe Wolves.
And then be ready, whatever. They'll retake Mandalore. What was the plan? I don't remember.
Cliff knows how hard that is. That he's been searching. You got to search the bargain bins. You got to go to the flea market.
Exactly.
Putting together
He's trying to get all the Ewoks together. He's getting all the Wickets.
Getting every version of a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
tough
they're hard to
complete
find.
your collection.
Which at this point we have to know that the Empire has got something to do with Mandalore. Like whatever they're going into to take Mandalore, it's going to be a bunch of freaking Empire because everything when they went there, who'd they get chased around by?
Right,
TIE fighters.
Yep.
So. Why they don't want you there? We're gonna blow your castle up. Get the heck, go away! Don't ever try this again. It's like what's going on?
We know Moff Gideon is coming back.
Yeah, is that just Moff Gideon, or is it the wider Empire itself?
Yeah,
the whole Empire against them, or is it just this one guy wanting revenge?
I don't know. Don't know.
But we'll be here to figure it out.
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
This is the way.
So that'll do it for this Star Wars-y episode of Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a Jesse. And whether you've been with us all 7 years that we've been doing this, or whether you're a brand new listener, we love having you. We'd love to interact with you. We'd love you to comment, share, like, subscribe, whatever.
Sign up for Patreon.
We're happy to share. Become a patron. We'll be very happy to share our KPP-ness with you.
That'll get him. That'll get him in. Oh, we just got 10 people right off the bat.
Make it rain with those patron dollars. Wow.
That sounds illegal.
Oh my!
We have an OnlyFans or what is it? Patreon? Patreon.
Yeah. Sign up. Give us $1. All that money goes to server fees and keeping the show running and new equipment. We got new equipment. Now we got to pay for it. And it can't just be Justin, guys. So if you like the show, sign up.
Goodbye forever.
Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, at gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, join our Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and access to Patreon-only benefits. We are grateful for anyone who chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will remain free. So please continue to like, comment, and share.